The LEGO Castle theme is returning once again with a companion set to the previously released medieval blacksmith. Just beyond the outskirts of the royal city lies the Alchemist's workshop. All willing to journey here are rewarded with a vast selection of potions and magical brews. The wise alchemist conjures up fresh potions in his basement, while the charismatic shopkeeper tends to business upstairs. The herbalist tends to the gardens, collecting trimmings for the wizard. When taking their products from place to place, they travel with their alchemy cart that folds up for portability, pulled by their trusted horse. Emissaries of varying factions travel from all corners of the kingdom to purchase the goods that the wizard crafts in his shop. That is the story and inspiration of this set by the designer Shram. This set comes in at 2,319 pieces, and this is one of those builds where the parts are doing a lot of work. There isn't really any wasted space. The interior is dense, the exterior has loads of texture, and you get a lot of small elements that add up fast. The bottles, tools, plants, and accessories everywhere you look. It feels even larger than the piece count suggests once you start opening it up. From the outside, it has striking similarities to the medieval blacksmith set, with a garden and tree to the roof design and water features. The garden implementations on the set is easily one of my favorite parts of the build. Nearly everywhere around the set, the herbalist is growing exotic flowers and trees. It's messy in a controlled way, and I love that it all serves a purpose in the story rather than just being there for the color. You have a nice cobblestone path leading to the stairway that leads up to the door. The entire building is crafted with intricate woodwork, and of course the roof having that potion flask is such a cool little detail. Of course, I'm sure it's easily removable if you want to give the set a more grounded, realistic look. The water feature also gives such a nice touch instead of just having a traditional well that the blacksmith has. You've got a nice sign at the door showcasing the point of entry for the shop, all surrounded by beautiful tans and browns all around the walls. On the front, you have the Japanese maple overshadowing the small garden of exotic plants and the most dangerous one of all, the nightshade. The cart is another standout. The fact that it folds and unfolds is such a nice touch that adds some playability and is designed so wonderfully with so much color. I feel like this in particular would look amazing parked somewhere around Lion Knight's castle or medieval town square as a traveling wizard, or even maybe it be Magisto's cart. Once you start opening the building up, that's where the set really starts to feel like eye candy. The basement lab feels immediately colorful and busy in a good way. You've got the mortar and pestle, distillery setup, and a lectern showcasing a book of recipes and a secret letter. The shelves are stocked with valuables and other supplies, but where the treasure really lies is behind the hidden bookshelf that leads under the stairway, a chest filled with the wizard's most valuable items he's come across in his travels. There's also a little cooking area with pots and pans for heating items up down here. Upstairs, the shop area is much more orderly. Potion bottles, a measuring scale, little details like that help sell the idea that this is a place of business. There are scrolls for bookkeeping as well as a fireplace on the wall for warming up the weary travelers who enter the shop on cold days. Now the attic is where we run into some problems, so we have the herbalist, the wizard, and the shopkeeper, but only one bed. So I assume that the wizard and shopkeeper are married due to the nice little desk with a mirror and what looks to be perfumes that I assume the wizard probably made for her. So the herbalist probably just sleeps in the basement on the floor when the shop closes for the day. That's what I'm going to go with. The rafters are nicely stocked with old supplies and even some little mice hiding. The fireplace also continues up through the entire shop just as the blacksmiths did, heating up the entire home. As well as a nice change of pace for the bed design, giving a uniquely wider spread. Some interesting things to point out though is there is this very odd pink flame just lit and against the beam of the house, seemingly very risky to have fire next to the wood support of the house, but clearly it's some sort of magical flame. And also the structure built in the corner that is blue, I don't know if from this angle it's a desk or what that's supposed to be, so if you know, please let me know in the comments. And lastly, I have been looking at this image for multiple days and I cannot seem to figure out what is on this Kraken figure's head. It's almost like it is an infected minifigure and that is why they're coming for a healing potion. But when you look at the figure in other images, they're a perfectly healthy younger woman. So maybe you can help me figure out what's going on there. The minifigure selection here is honestly really solid. You get 9 figures and they're all doing something. You have the Alchemist, the Shopkeeper, the Herbalist, 2 new Horse Knights in both a Regal and a more Grunt style print. You have the new Griffin Knight and Kraken Bandit, and a Raider who has no alliance, and this Ghost, which is a cool little callback to the old classic LEGO castle sets. That lineup alone tells a story. Knights coming for help for their kingdom and people, bandits snooping around, and clearly supernatural elements all around. The animals help too. The horse, pigeon, snail, and insects are small details, but they add life to the scene, especially in the garden. This obviously isn't meant to pair with big castles or even the medieval town square because of how much the scale would be off. But the designer used the techniques used in the medieval blacksmith set, and it worked out very well. I think it does everything the medieval blacksmith did and improves upon them in every way. I think once you see this set and how full it is and of life and color, you will look at the blacksmith interior as being incredibly dull and bland, which could be a good or bad thing. The Alchemist Shop is a great addition to the LEGO Castle theme, although I think it pairs best with the blacksmith and not so well while sitting next to sets like the Lion Knight's Castle or more classic sets. It would also be an excellent set even standalone, with all the little details surrounding it. Finally, getting some of the new Castle Faction minifigures in a set is a very welcome addition that makes sense with the story this set is trying to tell. And like I said, if you want to ground it more outside of the high fantasy elements it has going on, you can easily remove the roof flask and finish tiling off the roof to make it look a little more traditional. Anyways, that's going to do it for today, and I'll see you in the next video.